happy that you have this initiative going. Um, and I'm welcoming the students. It's great to see that we have people who really are in the quest for this knowledge. And I started the same as you guys. And by the way, my name is Rene. Um, I am from Cameroon, so me and your prof are from the same country. So yeah, I've been working in cyber for almost 10 years, in information technology in general for almost 10 years. I've assumed multiple roles, ranging from regular help desk, answering calls on the phone, to working as a junior IT admin, and then to going to work as a cybersecurity engineer, and then graduating from there to a cybersecurity analyst. Or whichever. These roles sometimes they don't even matter because what you do is probably different. So yeah. So that's about me professionally. Like you heard, I live in Florida, and I've been here for about 5 years now, right? Um, I also have a training program, but it's not what you guys will get from here. You guys are getting a lot of beginner knowledge. You guys are getting a lot of insight. My program is more about the industrial knowledge and the hands-on and what you are going to be doing, what is happening day to day, how your Monday to Friday is going to look like, and the hands-on, right? So yeah, that's about me. And if you have any questions about me, you can ask. But that's much about me. Today I'm going to be sharing some information about what I do with you guys today. This is going to be more of basics, you know. I'm trying to put it in a lens that you guys can see it, where we are looking at things from a normal world point of view, not too much cybersecurity jargon or language, but something that is trying to break it down for you guys to understand. And the reason why I choose to do that, to do what I'm going to put it that way, and to also come here to talk to you guys about specifically cybersecurity and compliance, is because when I joined the class on, I think 2 days ago, I heard people asking a lot of questions about mathematics, asking a lot of questions about coding, and asking a lot of questions about some. I think it was the things that scare them from maybe cybersecurity or information technology in general, which we have different disciplines or different areas that you can always go to if you have the passion to become an information technology professional or a cybersecurity professional, right? So yeah, that is it about me. If you have any question before we proceed, I can answer.
Thank you so much, Rene. Thank you for introducing yourself. Thank you for, I think people like what you just say because some people are scared of math, right? So it's good that we're going to talk about the area of compliance today and other, you know,
Yeah.
in space of cybersecurity. Thank you. Yeah, you can start. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen here. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to do the basics of cybersecurity and introduce you guys to cybersecurity and compliance here. We're going to look at what compliance really means, why compliance exists, compliance versus technical cyber rules, and we're also going to look at the core compliance concept. And then we look at the entry pathways or some of the rules or job functions that you can assume if you want to go the route of cybersecurity and compliance. And then I'm going to answer some questions from you or get to chat with you and then see what you have for me. So, okay, let's talk about what compliance really means, right? So, when you think about compliance, we're thinking about industrial standard, we're thinking about regulations, we're thinking about laws, because for everything that we do, right, we have laws and regulations, or sometimes we call them best standards that are guiding what we are doing. So, what cybersecurity and compliance is basically what we do to make sure that those laws, those regulations are enforced, that they are in place, right? So, what is basically, for example, for you to drive, you have to have a license, right? For you to drive, you have to have a license. And for you to be in compliance, you need to have a license, you need to have car insurance, you need to have a vehicle registration, you need to have an inspection done in your vehicle in some state. I know not all the states have those inspections. And then you need to be able to prove it, right? So when we talk about cybersecurity and compliance, if you cannot prove it, then it doesn't exist. Your system can be as secure, you can claim that your system is as secure as it is, or it's as locked down with security as it is to the extent you want to talk about. But if you cannot prove that it is actually that way, if you cannot prove the implementations of those things that you're talking about, then that compliance doesn't exist because it's not verifiable. Okay? So that's why compliance, that's what compliance really means. Okay. So think about it like when you're driving and a law enforcement, a police stops you and asks you for your insurance or your license. You have to prove to the policeman that you do have insurance. Even if you don't have your card, you're going to give your information and he's going to pull it on the system and he's going to verify that indeed you do have insurance. He's not going to just believe you on your word. All right. Always stop me and ask me the question if you have, right? Before I keep running and running. All right. So let's talk about why do cybersecurity compliance exist? Well, some organizations really do not tell the truth about the status of their systems or of their organizations when it comes to security. So think about it this way. We have in this country, we have the Department of Defense, or right now called the Department of War. So they have systems. Remember that not everyone that works for the Pentagon are government employees. This department needs a lot of expert or a lot of civilian organizations and companies to help them build some of the system, build some of the products that they use. Some of these might be top secret. So if an organization comes and tell them and claims to them how compliant their system is to the particular framework that the DoD is using, or if they come and claim how compliant their system is in terms of security, when it is not, just because they want to get that big paycheck from the DoD, then they really have no way to prove it. So in order to be able to prove it, in order to be able to make sure that they implement those standards, those frameworks in accordance with what the Department of Defense requires or what the government requires, then they exist compliance, right? And it's as serious as you can think about because I think 2 weeks ago, there is a lady that is currently now in trial because she lied about a system that she was working on for the Air Force, I think it's Navy or Air Force. She kept doing compliance audit and claiming that the system was meeting the cloud controls or the federal controls that were supposed to be implemented in that system for security, but the system was actually not meeting those controls. So right now, she has just been indicted and she's in trouble. So people forget too, right? There are certain things that we say that we think that we have implemented. You may think that you have implemented something on the system, but actually you did not. So in the compliance world, once you do it, you have to document it. If you do not document it, it doesn't exist, right? And the system also change. There is a change process. Once the system goes through the development life cycle and is completely built and now in production or operational, then we have to continuously do something called change management, whereby anything that is being done on that system or change in that system is going to be evaluated. We're going to do something called a security impact analysis, which is basically looking at what is this change that we are trying to do? What does this change do to the system? And what are the things that this change is going to change bring to the system? Does it change the people that log into the system? Does it change the tools that the system is using, or does it change the data that the system is collecting? Does the change also send the data that the system is collecting somewhere else outside of that particular environment or that particular organization? Those are the things that compliance help check, right? And then, of course, we were already talking about regulators need to prove that you are indeed compliant, right? And we're going to talk about some frameworks. So that's why I'm not talking about them here. So who cares about compliance? I already said the government cares a lot about compliance, a lot, because that is how they are able to determine if those systems are following their security principles. If those systems can be able to protect the data that they currently store, process, or transmit. If those systems can protect the population, if those systems can meet the national security needs of the country, right? And then regulators, of course, because like we said, for example, regulators, they have to know if, for example, if you have a bank that wants to do business with maybe let's say a big company, they have to do a financial transaction and a big deal, for example, they have to make sure that that money that they're sending there is going to be secure, that their systems are secure. You cannot make a deal that for a lot of money that you come back tomorrow and say, hey, this money went to somewhere else or the company was compromised and the money went somewhere else just because they did not implement the appropriate security measures that are able to protect the organization. So regulators will check that and then organizations will use those reports to be able to make decisions. And then, of course, protecting customers, right? And this is not only compliance is not only about has it been implemented, it's also about the protection of customer data. And a lot of you here, I don't know if you guys always, I know majority of us are always doing this where when we go to sign up, for example, if you go to sign up for Facebook or for TikTok or for Instagram, I don't know how many of us you read their privacy policies. As a compliance analyst, or as someone working within in the compliance field, those are some of the things that you check. Companies have to tell their customers why they are collecting their data, what that data is going to be used for, how customers can reach out to correct their data if they think that is wrong, how customers can reach out to ask for their data that is in the company's possession, and you have the right to call them and ask them to delete your data if you need that to happen. And they will tell you what they will use your data for, who they will share that data for. But this is where they catch most of us, right? Because we don't read. It's always hidden in the bottom part of the page, or when we sign up and when we have that long list, we don't want to sit there and read. We just scroll up, and then click sign. But you have acknowledged to give your data away. And then now, Facebook takes your data and sell it to marketers. Facebook takes your data and sell it to their third parties or make deals, have these huge databases. I mean, Google knows us more than we know ourselves. That is just for a fact, right? They do know us way more than we know ourselves. Way more. And there's nothing we can do about it at this point. I mean. So yeah, let's keep going here and then we talk about auditors. Right? Now, auditors are the people who comes to check to ensure that you are following this framework or you are following the compliance guidelines.
And I
So are the
think we
people
have a question, if you don't mind.
okay?
Yes,
Yeah, what
someone
is the
asked a
question?
question. Anita, see your hand up on
Yeah,
the previous slides.
yes, thank you, Professor Dujoli. Yeah, I actually had just a quick question. Just when you talked about, because I'm guilty of that, when you see those, um, sometimes when you sign up on a website or, things like that, they bring those,
Concern
what the,
that you had to
yeah,
do agreement,
that
right?
you have to agree exactly, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's very long. Sometimes you don't even, sometimes I try to read and I don't even understand you know, everything that is being said. So we really have to take the time and read those long, agreements that
Well,
they.
yes, you can read, right? Just to know what is going to happen to your data, right? But
Mm,
you have to also remember this. The services they are providing to you, you need the services. So if you decline to give your data, if you decline for them to use that, then you are not
mhm.
going to be able to use their platform.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'm saying like it's something like it's like a rhetorical question. Like you ask somebody, you tell somebody, but they don't really have that much to do because if I deny to give it to you, then
Mm,
you are not going to give me the services that I need. But what I say
exactly.
is when you sign up for things, what I encourage people to do is you have to give the minimum data set that is allowed for you to use that platform or to use that. So you don't just click accept all. If they say
Mm,
the ones that are optional, when I sign up for something, the data that is optional, I will never give it. If they
mm,
say phone number is optional, I'm not giving my phone number. If they say
okay.
emails are optional, I'm not providing my email. Social security number is optional. No, then I'm not providing it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's optional, I am not providing it. I'm only filling out the mandatory fields and I am done.
Okay. But sometimes they
So you
have
really
other
need to
ways.
minimize the amount of data that you give them. And that also goes when you when you download applications, you also be mindful of the permissions that you are providing to those applications. Sometimes
Mm,
applications take up permissions for your phone, for example, that is not needed.
mm.
You will download maybe a screen
Oh,
capture and it will be asking you for access to your text messages.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
please, Renee, we have another question from Dr. Coffin.
Yes, Renee, I have a question about customers' data. I heard that some customers have more expensive data. The data can be more expensive than others. For instance, if I have the data of a celebrity, maybe company can share that and this can cost more money. What do you think?
Yes, yes. Data is very data is the most lucrative
It's
asset
gold. It's
in the
gold.
world. Data is more expensive than gold.
Yes, than
Anybody
even
that
oil.
has data, yeah. I mean, anybody that has data is a gold mine. Anybody that has data
Yes.
is a rich man.
Yes.
If you have control of data, that's why you when you look at Google, when you look at Facebook, and when you look at Apple, do you think they make money from the iPhones that we buy? No, that's not where they make money. They make money from the data that we provide to them every day. Our patterns when we go to sleep, restaurants that we visit, where we walk, how long we drive a day, the locations we stop at, all those things are calculated. You know, if you have heard about big data, all
Yes.
those things are calculated, all those things are put together, and they can basically predict our lifestyle, predict what we're going to do next. And then they sell it to marketers, and then they sell it to companies. Maybe they can even say Walmart has its big data on its own, but they can sell it to Walmart for Walmart to be able to know who to target to sell products to. For Amazon is the one that you should really look at, right? When you look at Amazon, the amount of intelligence that those guys have. So
Yes.
if when you have Alexa in your house, for example,
Yeah.
Alexa is always listening to you. Let me tell
Mm-hmm.
you that. If you
Yes.
doubt that Alexa is not listening to you, talk about a toothpaste that you want to buy and wait for 3 hours. They will advertise it to you.
Yes. Even
Wow.
Google Home. Google Home,
Yeah.
all those stuff. They when
So, so
yeah, go ahead.
now I was just going to ask, so what's the solution? We shouldn't have Alexas, we shouldn't have those things. Like,
I
how
mean,
can you, can
if
we
you
ever be
really want to live,
protected?
if you want to live a secure life in terms of cybersecurity, if you want to live a secure life, that means that your life is going to be as uncomfortable as hell if you are ready to accept that,
Wow.
right? Because
Mm.
first thing, as long as your thing joins the internet, it is no longer secure. The computer that is secure is the one that is lying in the basement and it has never connected to the internet. And at that point, it
Exactly.
has no use,
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
right?
Just to add on the big data, when I was working United Healthcare, I was working in the IT part, and we're doing big data. And during one meeting, they were facing some issues, like a lot of health insurance company. They were facing issues, and the boss stand and say, "We have the data, so we cannot go down. We cannot go down." And I didn't understand. I was just a beginner there, and they say, as long as we're controlling the data, because they have data from the
Yeah.
patient data, everything that you can think of, they have data. So they were feeling so confident. And at that time, stocks, everything was going down, even everything was going down, but they were kind of very up, they were not shaking. And I was like, how confident is him? But now I understand, like, he knew what he was talking about, because patient data, just think about it. When you go to the hospital, they have all your files, everything, even provider data they can, they are the boss. When you have data, it's like you are the boss.
Yeah, you are the boss. And to answer Prof, so imagine that you have this data, all this data of these celebrities, people that are of greater wealth than the middle class, right? Imagine that you have services that you provide to them and they have your applications on their phones and they're using that and you're collecting data about them. You know their life patterns, you know what they like, you know where they go in the morning, their routines and everything.
Yes.
Man, when you reach companies like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they're going to be buying in front of you to get that data.
Exactly. Because they want to buy, they want to sell
Yeah,
them, propose, they want to, and that's the same thing. I think a lot of people know. When you go on internet, you just look for a chair and then you see how everything else in one day it appears to you. I'm like, oh, and you didn't even go to Walmart, but Walmart is showing advertising. Oh, do you want this? Say they study behaviors, they study all stuff. Why? Because they have data.
so yeah, that's
Thank
that's
you.
that's basically it. You guys should just know Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, they know us more than we know ourselves. It's really about it. And I tell people when I hear people say, "Oh, I don't want the government to censor me and look at this," I'm like, man, you just need to just keep quiet. The government knows everything about you. It's just that there's no need for them to use it to do anything because it's nothing. But they know, like they do know.
You
So
know it when you are in trouble or you did something that is wrong. That's
yeah,
when you
then
know
you
that they
understand.
know how to track you, your how many Gmail you have. They collect your information. They can tell you exactly when you were born and everything that you give them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yes.
Yeah. So the only the how you can help yourself now is you can limit some of the things. You can protect yourself a little bit, but not from the government. There's no way you're protecting yourself from the government. They know what they know. I mean, from Google, it's going to be hard for you to protect yourself because you're going to really need to be on it. But you can protect yourself from petty scammers. These we call them script kiddies, and these just new really basic scammers and all that. But that's a different thing. You can use a VPN to hide your location. You can install a VPN in your house, and if you want to do that, you don't want to install uh, an endpoint VPN. If you have like Node VPN or maybe Proton VPN, you don't want to install it only on your phone because that's the end device. But because then when you come to the house and connect to your Wi-Fi, then there's no net because your traffic is going out from your through your ISPs. And our ISP is another person that knows way more than we know because everything from our house goes to our internet service provider and they know what we're doing. So it goes to them before they forward, they take it out and go and grab what we need. So they know that, hey, you send us this traffic, you're going to look for Facebook. Okay, you visit Facebook. You send us this traffic, you're going to Amazon, you visit. So they know all those things. So if you can hide from your internet service provider so they don't get that by installing a VPN, but it has to be that you have to install it in your router so everything in your house goes out through the router. But like I said, security comes with inconvenience. So there are going to be some site that you want to visit. Maybe one day you want to visit your doctor's office and it's going to deny you because they see that you are using a proxy. So all those type of things. So just keep in mind for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about some compliance rules, compliance versus technical cybersecurity rules. So when you look at the technical cybersecurity rules, we're talking things like configurations, configuring systems, like a system engineer or cybersecurity architect or something like that. We're talking about fixing vulnerabilities, like a vulnerability management engineer or a vulnerability manager, somebody that works with install tools like Tenable, like Qualys, like Burp Suite, like Big Fix and all those things, right? And then work to run scans and all that. When we talk monitoring threats, it's like a security operations center analyst, responding to incidents, also security operations center analysts and threat hunters and all that. And then writing code, right? Professor Yoli will tell you more about this, and then designing and architecting systems, right? So these are some of the technical rules. These are really technical rules, right? But then when we talk about compliance rules, compliance is more about asking people like, is this required? Do we need to have a 10-character password? Do we need to have do we need to lock this system down so that only one person can access it? Is there a need for it? Those are the questions that the compliance wall is asking. And do we have proof? Okay, yes, we have locked the system down. We have implemented 16-character password. How can we prove it? Do we have the screenshot of the configurations, or can we log into the system and show people that, or the auditors that, here, this is how we have configured the system. We have maybe a single sign-on, logging in via something like Okta, or we have password configuration that users can only use, create a password that is a minimum of 15 characters, and you can see the configurations here. Can you show that? Is it documented somewhere? Can I see the documentation, right? What is the risks? What are the gaps? If that is not, then what are the gaps, right? What are the gaps in the systems that we need to fix, right? And then it's ensuring the company and all that to make sure that in terms of the cyber, because if your company has a higher risk, if you don't have a good security, if your security score is not that good, companies may not want to insure your company. Insurance companies, I mean, they don't want to get into trouble all the time or to be paying for cyber attacks or data breaches all the time. I see that somebody has a hand up.
Yes, it's me. I apologize for asking the question. Maybe you've answered it earlier, but I was just wondering who fixed the compliance rules? Who determines the compliance? Like, for example, you've been saying that when you, if I understand correctly, when you set up, like, for example, every time you set up like um like a security system or things like that, you always have to check, the compliance, right? Yeah, it has to be documented. I don't know if I'm
So your
making
question
sense.
is who
Who is
documents or
fixing? Yeah, who fixed the rules, like
who fixed the gaps? Who
yeah.
fixed the gaps? Okay. So the gaps are fixed. So we have to, when you work with the engineers, if I go back to my room, can you give me 1 second here, please?
Yes, so while we are waiting, any other question? I think he was answering the question that Ms. Anita asked regarding the who fits the compliance roles. Yeah, things
All right, sorry about that. Kids, they come in here, they knock my door was open. All right, sorry. So yeah, so what I was saying was this. I wanted to go back to these rules, right? So let's say, for example, that we were working on implementing a single sign-on solution. And we have implemented a single sign-on solution whereby employees can come in and log into that one place and they can then have the applications that they have access to, and they're able to get access to those applications. So now, in our single sign-on solution, we want to ensure that access is really strengthened. So we want an MFA solution that is strong. So we say, okay, let's use a hard token or a hardware base, which is like something is a YubiKey. I don't know if you guys know what a YubiKey is. It's like a small USB key that is like this. I think I have one somewhere. It's small like this, and you plug it on your computer and you just need to touch it. Once you touch it, it generates a one-time code and it expires in like a few seconds, right? So now, and then you can say, okay, the compliance requires that we have 15 characters minimum. So now you come as an auditor and you audit that system and you see that they are using 10 character password, then you have to go back to the system engineer. So the compliance guy will work with the system engineer to ensure that those settings or those configurations are fixed to meet the requirement or to meet the compliant requirement. I don't know if that answers your question. So that's why the compliant, when you are working in compliance, you are not the guy that goes and do configuration. You are like a facilitator. You are like the person that knows the rules, that knows what is supposed to happen, but not necessarily who is you, the person that is supposed to fix it. You have to make sure that they fix it. You don't have to put your hands on to fix it. If you have the technical knowledge to be able to do stuff, sometimes engineers will not like you to do that. Also, because we have to have separation of duties, by the way, and so you shouldn't be allowed to do that because your role is different. And also, sometimes they will frown at you because it's like you're trying to get away their job. So it's not really something that they really like. I don't know if that answered your question, though.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one here. So yeah, let's talk about this now, which is very interesting. Who have heard about the NIST Risk Management Framework, ISO 2700, FedRAM, PCI DSS, or the Cybersecurity Framework? Anybody?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please? Your question.
Have you ever heard about the Risk Management Framework, NIST Cybersecurity Framework, ISO 2701, FedRAM, or PCI DSS? Which I have a spelling error there. It's PCI DSS, not PCIS. Anybody? No?
I'm not familiar.
Okay. So yeah, so all these are basically like rule books, right? They are rule books that exist in the world of cybersecurity, but they exist for different industries. Okay, so think about it this way. The United States government have their own rule book, and this rule book is written in something called the NIST Risk Management Framework. So National Institute of Science and Technology developed this standard for government agencies to use to secure systems, right? And it's mandatory. It's not optional. It's mandatory for all government agencies to follow the risk management framework. So, before a system is stood up in the government environment, that system has to follow all the steps of the risk management framework for them to ensure that the system is stood up correctly and is secure. So, these steps could include the steps include for the risk management framework includes, for example, you prepare for the system, which means you gather information. What is the system going to do? What is the mission business function of that system? What is it going to help the agency do? And all those things. Then you categorize that system, right? Categorization means putting an impact level on that system. So if this system is compromised, what is the impact going to be on the organization, which is the government here, on the American people, and the country at large, right? So I see that you guys learned about the CIA yesterday. The CIA is very essential here when it comes to the next risk management framework. Everything in cybersecurity revolves around the CIA. That is something that you need to know. You cannot go for an interview if you cannot explain what CIA is. It's as essential as you can think about. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So systems are categorized based on these three watermarks. So what would be the impact if confidentiality is compromised? What would be the impact if integrity is compromised? What will be the impact if availability is compromised? And they will assign those impacts as low, moderate, and high. That's something we can go to in a different day for more detail. But just know that that's how it works, right? So the risk management framework is used in the government environment. The cybersecurity framework is used industrial-wide. But the risk management framework, it doesn't mean that companies cannot use it or organizations out of the United States cannot use it if they want to. If you want to use it to help your organization, you are more than welcome. All the documents are out there in public for everyone to use. So it is public information, you can use it, right? So it's an open book. But the agencies must use that. Cybersecurity framework is built for the industry out there for private companies, right? They can use that. And then ISO 27001 is like an international standard, right? This is what most organizations that are not, doesn't have anything to do with the government, especially in the United States, they use ISO 27001. You will hear, if you go to your organization, I don't know where each of you work, but if you go, you'll probably hear them say, we are ISO certified, we are ISO certified, we are ISO certified. If you look, in terms of information technology, they will be ISO 27001 certified. And what are the rule book? What does the rule book says? It talks about access controls, how you need to build your system for proper access controls. It talks about configuration management. It talks about human resource management. It talks about the culture of the organization. I think ISO also has something related to diversity and order. It talks about a lot of things, right? So the controls in ISO are close to the controls in the risk management framework. So if you know one of these framework, it will be easy for you to transition and work on any of them. Then we have SOC 2. SOC 2 is also mostly going for financial institution, but it also for the private industry. And then we have FedRAMP. Now, I want you guys to learn this one and listen to this one because it's essential. The reason I say that is because a lot of companies are going to the cloud, especially in the United States. A lot of companies want to do business with the government. The government is huge here, right? It's billions of dollars for contracts for the government. So when you see before a cloud service provider sells a product that is built in the cloud to the government, they have to be FedRAMP authorized. So what is FedRAMP then? FedRAMP is a government standard for organization, for cloud service providers to build, to assess, to authorize, and to continuously monitor the system. So it's based on assessment, authorization, and continuous monitoring. FedRAMP follows all the steps of the risk management framework. But FedRAMP has its own controls tailored to the cloud. The risk management framework can apply everywhere. The controls can apply everywhere. When I talk about controls, they are those things that you need, those things that you need to implement, right? Those rules that you need to implement for your system to be secure. Because the next risk management framework is generic. FedRAMP takes from that and modifies that to suit the cloud environment. For example, when you see Google, there's Google Cloud and there's AWS Cloud. The AWS cloud that you use is not the AWS cloud that is used in the government environment. The government has something called a community cloud, right? And that is where community cloud and its Gulf cloud, right? So that's where organizations like AWS, they go there and they build an AWS Gulf cloud, which is only used by the government or companies that want to build products that will be used by the government. Same as Google Cloud, they have Google Cloud and they have Google Gulf Cloud, which is used for the government. Same as Oracle Gulf Cloud. So all of them, because they want to do business with the government. And those clouds, they have to be assessed, they have to be in compliance with FedRAMP. FedRAMP is their rule book. And FedRAMP is very specific, very, very stringent. Because it will tell you, for example, if you are not a US citizen, you cannot get access. If you are not a US citizen or a permanent resident, absolutely no way you can get access to the FedRAMP environment. Right? So we can talk more about that, but that's about it. Then let's talk about payment card industry and PCI DSS. This is a standard that was developed by MasterCard and Visa, and is basically to protect the financial industry. If there is any organization that is processing credit card information, they need to be in compliance with PCI DSS. So they are the guys that say like you cannot store somebody's full card number. You cannot store somebody's the last digit. You can only store the last digit of the card number. You cannot store the CVV code at the back of the card and all that. Right? So that's PCI DSS. So you see, you can go everywhere here when it comes to compliance. You can be working for you can do compliance basically for in the government side. You can do compliance in the private sector and all that. So it's a lot of things that you can do. And as I've been talking about this, you didn't hear me say calculus here, or coding, or mathematics, right? You didn't hear me say that. All right. Any question before I go to this slide? Okay. Let's talk about what is an assessment and an audit. So we have already spoken about why compliance, the frameworks that we use for compliance. Now let's talk about the audit or the assessment. Assessments are basically coming to check if the company is in compliance, if those systems are in compliance with those frameworks that we have just spoken about. It's your organization, you have a FedRAMP product. Okay, AWS Gulf Cloud. The assessors coming to assess AWS Gulf Cloud to ensure that it is in compliance with FedRAMP. Right? And there are two types of assessments that can happen. There's internal audit or assessment. Some people call it audit, some people call it assessments. There are internal audit or assessment, and there's external assessors. But internal audit means you are assessing your own self, but you cannot accreditate your own self, right? So when you assess your own self, like an internal auditor, it's basically like you working for AWS and you are looking into your environment to make sure that, hey, is this thing working correctly? Since I have the knowledge, let me go on and assess our system before the external auditors ever come, so that the gaps that I find, we can fix them before we ever have an external audit, right? So that's what internal auditors do. They find the problems and then they work with their engineers to fix it, right? And then an external auditor is independent. Very, very independent. And the FedRAMP calls them third-party independent organizations, right? You have people like Deloitte, Coalfire, Kratos, who again, there's a bunch of them out there, right? But you are not mandated to use Coalfire or to use Deloitte. You can choose the one that you negotiate with them and it fits your budget or your company's budget. So they come in and they assess your systems for you, and then they give a report to FedRAMP, for example, telling them that, hey, we have assessed this system, this is our report, these are the findings that we found, on the system, we found that the system is supposed to implement 15-character password, but they are only implementing 10-character password. We found this issue, and we found it. And then FedRAMP is going to determine, and the agencies are going to determine whether they want to authorize your system to be used. If they decide not to certify your system, then it's because your report was not good. Or maybe they will say, go and fix those things, and then we can certify your system. All right. So this is a job response, this is a job role, this is a job position. I've done this before. And let me tell you, it's not hectic as you could think. But let's talk about something called the plan of action and milestone. This is an important document in cybersecurity. It may be called differently in different frameworks, but this is generically known as the plan of action and milestone. It's basically a document that contains, for example, we talked about assessment and auditing. When you get those findings, you have to document them somewhere so that you can track them till they are fixed. And this is the document that contains those. When an auditor or when somebody comes to look at your organization in terms of where is your security, the first document that they'll probably ask you is, where is your plan of action and milestone? They want to see that high critical vulnerability that the scanner found 2 months ago. What have you done to it? Right? Has it been remediated? Has it been fixed? Or has it been ignored? Or what is going on with it? And the story of what is going on with that particular finding is going to be found in the plan of action and milestone. So it contains the weaknesses or the findings of your organization and of the system. It contains when those findings were made, when it is expected to be fixed, who is expected to fix it, and a monthly update on what we are doing to fix it. Right? And also the impact level of that particular finding, low, critical, or high, or medium. In the federal world, for example, if you have a critical or high finding, you have to fix it within 30 days. If you have a moderate or medium, you have to fix it within 90 days. And if you have a low, you have to fix it within 180 days. If you don't fix that, then you are out of compliance. All right. Okay. Let's talk about compliance rules and positions. You can have a GRC analyst. It basically means governance, risks, and compliance analyst. This is a role that you basically are in the company. You are looking at documentation. You are coordinating compliance issues. Maybe you can be, when you are a GRC analyst, you can basically be there and you are only responsible for doing change management. They submit changes, you review those changes, make sure that they are submitted appropriately. Documentations for those changes is in there. Impact analysis are done, and then you coordinate that and bring that forward to the change management board. And then once they discuss that, you coordinate the change management board, vote on changes, and then when those changes are approved, then you go and document on that Jira ticket or whatever service now or whatever you're using, and then you are or your engineers are ready to implement the change. That could be part of what you're doing as a GRC analyst. Or you could be a GRC analyst, and then in that role, you are doing auditing, internal audit, or you could be a GRC analyst or a compliance analyst employed by someone like Deloitte, and you are now an independent assessor going around and assessing system. Or you could be on the side helping to build the system, which means you are telling the engineers this is how the system is supposed to be built, and then documenting it when they build that. Once they build that, how they have built the system, the procedure documents, the policies and all that, and how the system is supposed to function, right? And there is, of course, the risk analyst, where you assess the risks of the organization. All these rules, it just depends the organization. Like sometimes I don't like calling positions or job responsibilities by roles, because as the prof may tell you, sometimes the rules don't really matter, to be honest. What they say as your rule don't really matter. They can call you as an engineer or as a security analyst, but you go there and you're doing something else. It doesn't mean that you go there and you'll be a cybersecurity analyst. Doesn't mean that you go there and you'll be reviewing logs and doing this. And you may go there and you are the one doing just a poem, a plan of action and milestone. You document, you get the scans report, you document the poem, you schedule meetings, and then you follow up with your engineers to make sure that those findings are remediated, and make sure that you follow up with them if there's any deviations or anything. You have to have them documented, and if there's any resource or service or component that needs to be bought, you have to do that. And if there's anything that has to go through change management, we have to work through that. So that is you work across the team as a compliance analyst. You work with everybody, you touch, you go and talk to, you have to be a people's person. That's one thing. You have to be able to talk to people. If you are not able to talk to people, the job is going to be really challenging for you. You have to be able to go and talk to the DevOps team. You have to be able to go and talk to the engineering team. You have to be able to go and talk to the security team, and you have to be able to go and talk to HR. So you have to maintain that balance so that your job can flow well, because your job depends a lot on people, right? If you have a poem that's coming due in 3 days, in 5 days, you have to have a good relationship where you can go tell your engineer, like, hey, look, this is due soon. Maybe I missed it and now it's due in 3 days. How can we help make this happen so we cannot get this past you? Okay. So yeah. And then when we talk about information system security officer, I used to have this rule before, when I used to work for the government. This rule is basically it's like you own the system, right? You work below the system owner, but basically you do everything for the system. You call the shots for the system. It's like you are the officer for the system, which means everything about that system that has to do with security pass through you. You have to make sure that your system is secure in terms of the implementations are done correctly. You have to make sure that you have documentations for that. You have to make sure that your system passed the audit and that the audit is done on time. You have to make sure that the changes in your system follow the right process and that you document them, make sure that they are documented, make sure that the changes are tested in the lower environments before they are pushed to production and all that. It's a lot more that you have to do, right? Of course, we already spoke about security control assessor, what you do as that. And then data privacy officer is just making sure that the data in the system, if we want to send data somewhere or if we want to bring in new data to the system, we have to vet the data, right? There are some systems that are not built, for example, to be able to take in PHI information. So if they want to ingest new data into the system, you have to go through those data sets and say, hey, the system is not currently built to handle this. If this is coming in, which means that we have to change the security of this system to be able to handle this. Or if your data wants to be, if they want to send the data somewhere to another system, which says like an agreement to share data with another system or with another organization, you need to be part and parcel of this where they discuss this. You need to make sure that why is the data being sent? What is it going to be used for? Is this organization that the data is being sent to have the capability to protect that data in the appropriate security level as you did, right? So all those things you need to that's what the security privacy officer does, right? And then there is a very good role here called cybersecurity and compliance liaison. If you ever get this role and you want anything that is chill, I don't think you will ever leave again, because it's basically you coordinating things between the auditors and the organization and then the government. You're just a coordinator. You set up meetings. Hey, their time is this. You coordinate assessment times. You coordinate this. It's a coordinator in general. That's just what it is. Okay. All right. Questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Rene, for this wonderful knowledge. Thank you. Did someone learn something so far? I learned a lot. I'm sure you guys learned also, right? Yeah, that was very informative, especially for those who doesn't like math. My students usually ask me, what am I going to do with this class? What am I going to do with math? Because, so, right? So you don't need a lot of math to do the audit or assessment or compliance, but you need understanding, logic, right? The patience, and, test your logic, your skills, behavioral skills also. So do we have any questions so far? Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate that. And do we have any questions? Professor Doshiri? And is Dr. Kofi still here?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Yeah. Any questions?
We were not sleeping. We were paying attention.
Good. Yes, please fill out the attendance sheet. I see a lot of people did not fill out the attendance sheet. Please take 1 minute, fill out the attendance sheet for me, please. It will very help us, right, to make a
question. Sometimes the students are interested in salary, or we talk about all these positions, but how much they make so that they can major in this field.
That's true. So let me tell you guys something about this field. And I always don't like to call salaries because students will then start going for the salary.
Okay.
But I'll call it anyway. So cybersecurity and compliance pays way, way more than security operations center analyst. It's not even close. A normal medium, let's say a mid-level cybersecurity compliance guy is making $120,000 a year.
Wow.
Right? A junior level is making like 85,000, 90,000, 95,000 and going up. When you start reaching senior levels, not even senior level, some mid-level assessors, even an assessor, mid-level is making something 140, 135, 140.
You want to make me change my job? Switch?
I mean, but it pays well. Like,
okay,
pays
that's
well.
cool.
You want to change your mind, Dr. Kofi?
Oh, yeah, I will think about it. Oh my God.
What about you, Dejoli? I'm just kidding.
Definitely in industry, there's more money. I was there before, so there's more money than in academy. So let's stop the conversation there, right?
Don't listen to Professor Dosley. Don't listen to.
Oh, you accusing me now?
No, that's a good question. I know students want to ask that question, right? So very good. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm sharing something interesting here just to check. I don't know if my screen is being shared. So we shared this yesterday. We saw that the most attacked country was maybe in Africa. Was that true? Was it true? Those who were here yesterday. Russia, yes. We can check again. We have one person joining from Canada as the number 31st on this list. Finland is like 17, right? So let's turn this around.
I'm from France.
Okay, well, France. Okay, let's go to France. France
I'm
in
just kidding.
Africa.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. But France, is it in Africa or Australia? Is it in Africa?
Europe.
Okay. So it looks like it's somewhere here, so we can check, right? So I ask everybody to play around with this, right? We can go here and check France. Number 8, right? Who want to check another country? Where you guys coming from, right? Now we have a lot of people from America. And
continent is asleep, Mama Christine. Our continent is asleep.
Oh, okay. It looks like, is it just now that they're sleeping or they've been sleeping?
They've been sleeping.
It's just a question. I don't know because there's a time difference, so I don't know. But there's no too much attack here. I think yesterday we saw that the more countries connected, right? Right, YouTube as secure Africa. Okay, it looks like okay.
I was just sharing my Facebook page there. I do some short videos like
Okay.
50 seconds for security basics, like what is CIA and all those, and they can go there to learn if they
Yes,
want.
yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody who want, please go on YouTube, right?
on Facebook and YouTube, and go there and they can
It's
follow us.
mostly YouTube. Yes.
YouTube is just
Hello.
starting, yeah, so
Welcome
it's
to
still
another
very.
video on cybersecurity basics. Let's look at something people
That's
often
you,
get
right?
confused with.
Yes.
Encryption versus
Yeah,
hashing.
I think I'm sharing my
Encryption
screen,
turns
right?
data into unreadable form to protect it from unauthorized access. Hashing
Is that still
turns data
sharing?
into a fixed,
Yeah.
unreadable value to verify that it has not been changed. Hashing protects the integrity of data. Let's look at an example of each. We'll begin with the encryption process. First, we create an encryption key. This key is used to both encrypt and decrypt our data. Now that we have our encryption key set, let's go ahead to our plaintext. Now we'll type follow secure Afric as our plaintext and click encrypt. This output is our scrambled text. Now let's decrypt the text to verify it returns to our original message. In the decryption window, we'll enter our key and paste the scrambled text we copied earlier. After clicking decrypt, voila, the process is complete. And our original plain text, follow secure Afric, is visible once again. Now let's see how hashing is done.
Good,
We
good,
have
good.
the MD5.
Please subscribe to
Hello.
the channel.
Welcome to another video on
channel.
cybersecurity basics. Let's.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
channel. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel, right, and follow those videos. So we have I think we have a question for you.
Yeah. And just so they know, we are also going to be doing podcasts. And our podcast is more about Africa, African tech talent, cybersecurity, everything related to tech in Africa. The first episode is coming up on the first week of February. So it's going to be a lot of content. Yeah. One day you may see some first day that you know. So it's coming.
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
Okay, that's very good. Please subscribe to the channel. Keep getting information. Information is the key. The more you know, the more you can function, the more you can fly, right? The less you know, the less you function, right? Or the more you cannot do anything. So, my question that I have, I know we have only 6 minutes. It's true, we have actually prepared something today with Bless. Mr. Bless is here. We have prepared something, but because of time, I don't think we're gonna have our small labs train on for hands-on. So please fill out the attendance. For those who fill out the attendance, we'll give you the opportunity maybe when we have our next workshop, because we're gonna do a lot of hands-on. We are working to put things in place so that everybody will have time to practice, see a little bit what is happening by virtual labs, virtual machine. Every terms that you learn that we are not really familiar, it's good that you come back. It's good that you share, at least with one person. When we say we have a workshop, and let's share, right? That's actually how we are building the community, is how we are uh, providing awareness to people so that people will not be scammed. A lot of people, even in your family, will tell you they have an account because they didn't just know how to go in the settings and protect themselves, but everything is there. We have to help people. Last summer, we had some research where high school people have to interview their family members, grandpa, grandma, they participate in the research. They know how to be secure. They know about ransom. They know about some words that they didn't know before. So it's very important that you share what we're doing. It's workshop. Maybe you can think I know everything, but there's always someone in the crowd that who doesn't know anything about cybersecurity, or maybe who is a victim or who can be a victim tomorrow. Please share Every time you see a link, I'm gonna add all those emails, those people who register to the classroom. So every time I will share when we have the next workshop, you'll have more opportunities like this to invite even more experts, those people working in industry, so that they give us a flavor about what they do every day. Thank you. So my question to Mr. Rene, how is, if you don't mind, how is AI changing the cybersecurity landscape? How AI is helping or maybe not helping? What do you think about cybersecurity and AI today?
So AI is helping a lot, right? So AI is coming and is enhancing the way we do our jobs, right? Something that I would take maybe 2 hours to do. For example, me working in the compliance arena here, something that I would take 2 hours to do, like write an implementation statement or write a documentation, and it takes me 2 hours to review grammar and go all those things. It takes me now basically 1 hour to do because I just write and I can ask AI to help me make it look good, make it for the audience that I want it to be for, and that's easy, right? Some technical things that documentation that you have to do or some technical implementations that you have to do. AI has come to facilitate that. And like you said, AI is something that we also have to learn. And there is the AI compliance part of it that is coming up right now, right? I'm currently studying for a certification in advanced AI management, compliance management, which is offered by ISACA. And you would see that even though we have frameworks. These frameworks are getting these frameworks are getting updated to be able to assess the risks of AI systems as well. Because as long as it's coming to help, it also has some risks. Because the standard that we had before, they did not address AI. So that's the gap now that is being field that they are working to fill. For example, NIST is working on something, right? So and we were on so that comes out and then we have to work on that as well. But yeah, AI is helping in order to fill this, in order to help you do your job faster, helping accelerate the time frame that you need to do to perform your task. But you need to learn how to use the AI to be able to do that. So that's why we always say you have when and this was said in 2 classes ago when you indulge in information technology, you have to be know that this is a lifelong journey. You're always going to be learning all the time. No disrespect to nurses, but when you learn where to put an injection in the human body, it never changes. That injection goes always in the vein, and that's it. But that's not information technology. It changes every time, every time, right? So you have to keep on learning and
Yes.
updating your knowledge. Yeah, but in the bad part, AI is going to take away jobs, some jobs, right? I
Yes.
tell people, my friends that are doing database admins, you need to start thinking. It's going to go. If you guys had 5 database admins, it's soon going to be one. Data entry jobs, okay, but yeah, but it's a lot. A lot is going to go away.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering that question. Do you guys have any challenge at work? People accepting AI and some people still backing, people who doesn't accept AI and some people who are just fluent changing because
So
yeah.
my company is a mobile threat detection company. So now you will know that we have a lot of these guys that are working engineers and developers. You know how they love AI? Yeah, yeah. You know how they love it, to be honest.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They welcome it in there. I mean, they have already been incorporating into things to the extent that I have to tell them, hey, we have to slow down because you cannot just build this thing into we don't know about the security in this thing, so we have to be
Exactly.
able to talk about the security, how it is secure, because we can't just import it into our environment infrastructure and then render the infrastructure provide some loopholes in the infrastructure that someone can exploit just because we want to use AI, you know.
Mm, okay. Okay. So can you advise any AI tools that you guys use and maybe you want to share with students any? I know ChatGPT in companies, they don't like it because it's sharing information. So do you have like things private
I
for the
mean, in
company?
generic in our company, we do use Gemini.
Okay.
We use Gemini. Yeah,
But it's
we use
protected
Gemini.
because it's the company
Ge-
license. They have a license.
yes, and Gemini is also in compliance with FedRAMP at this point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
but it's not all licenses of Gemini though. So if you're using Gemini but Gemini is yeah is
Okay.
good. Yeah,
So what's your best AI tools so far?
it depends what I'm doing. If I'm working on something related to graphics and designs and all that, I'm going to use Gemini. If I'm doing text, uh, something that is report research and all that, I'm going to use ChatGPT.
Okay. Report. Okay. So
Yeah.
do we have any other question for Mr. Rennie? I think a lot of people are learning a lot so far. Please take I think we have a question in the chat.
Can you help me understand what the impact cybersecurity can have on the daily lives of citizens? Okay. Yes, I will give you an example. Remember 3 years ago, there was an attack. What state was that? That just shut down the power grid. When the power grid is shut down, what part of CIA has been tampered with? You guys learned CIA yesterday, right? And you guys answered the question today. If the
Correct.
power grid is shut down, what part of CIA is compromised? Availability,
It's not available.
right? So availability, right? So now you have rendered the people who are supposed to have power in their homes powerless. Their homes are dark, they cannot do anything. Maybe they have their food in the fridges and they are getting bad because of a cyber attack. That's one way it affects citizens, right? Another one that happened, which is technically not a cyber attack, I call that. I know they haven't come out to specifically say it as such, but I call that a broken change management process. Was the one that happened in the airport. What company was that? CrowdStrike. The CrowdStrike incident that happened last year, where it shut down airport because CrowdStrike deployed an agent that was not compatible to Windows kernel or Windows operating system. So CrowdStrike built an update, tested it in Linux systems, but did not test it in Windows. That's how, to me, I know that they didn't explain it that way, but there's no explanation other than that. Because it's a change that was working well in Linux and not working in Windows. So they push it to Windows applications or to Windows operating systems, and it crashed the whole airport. Availability gone. People are not able to board their flights. People are not able to travel. People could miss their surgical appointments. You
Yes.
know, people get late for work and all that. So there's a lot of ways that it can affect us. And also, as a citizen, let me explain the simple one here that I want you guys to go and do today. Maybe majority of you that are sitting here, if I come to your house today, I can lock you out of your home internet in 2 minutes. You know why? Because that Xfinity box that you are using, you have never changed the password.
It's a
You have
default
never changed the
password.
username, and it's
Yes.
online. I just need to come and ask for you to help me with your Wi-Fi, and then when I log into your Wi-Fi, I look for your default gateway, and then I can just Google Xfinity default user account for the router, and I log into your router, change your password, log you out of your router, and I go. Or I can just leave it and just monitor your activities. So,
Yes.
so that's a basic one for you guys to go and do today. You need to change passwords from your routers. Change those
Yes.
default passwords and usernames. They cannot be that. You cannot keep them the same as the internet provider gave you. By the way, I don't use any router from the internet provider anyways. I buy my own. I don't have anything to do with them. I don't trust it.
Okay. Someone said my bank account was hacked. It was a tough time. Okay, I think it's Anita. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
things are happening. We need to secure our assets. This is why this workshop it helps people who think that it's only maybe to get a job. No, it's actually even at the route. I went to a lot of homes and I see that nobody cares. They're using the default password that Verizon or whatever gave them, and you know. So
And
the
then they
same.
have a guest Wi and then they have a guest Wi-Fi. I'm like, what are you doing with the guest Wi-Fi? Why?
Yeah. So we have another question. I know Mr. Bless was here. I want to take the opportunity to let both of you answer questions, right? Because we are wrapping up uh, with this session. I really want to thank everybody for our presenters, our expert who came here. Thank you so much. Mrs. Mirabel, she has a question.
No, I was
Yes.
just following up on what Renee just said. Sorry for the noise. You said you don't use their own internet. What do you use? Because the more we know, then that's why we're here, right? Thank you.
I mean, I just buy my own router and I just call them and pay for my services. And I plugged in my own router that I bought and I call them and say, hey, my router is plugged in. This is the serial number. They activate it and that's it. They don't see any, they cannot see my router. So, and I also like my network in my house. I mean, I can share with you guys how my network is configured. Like, so if you guys want to go, but when you broke it, I don't know how you're going to fix it. But basically, what I do is that in my router, I have a VPN. So my router is able to handle a VPN. So any traffic that leaves my house goes through the VPN. That VPN, let me tell you, is not my location of the data that leaves my house is not in Florida. It's in a different state. So every traffic that goes out from my house comes from a different state. That's why I don't get local advertisements in my TV. That's why I don't get any of those things. So basically, instead of my ISP to become my to become the how do I call it, to become my DNS provider, I'm using my VPN provider, whom they are not sharing my data, they are not selling it, right? Because that's the essence, they're a VPN provider. So it goes straight to them and they go grab the whatever site I was looking for and then encrypt it and bring it to me. And my cloud service provider doesn't see that data. Then when I leave my house, my phone internet is not going to work unless it connects to the VPN. Immediately I leave my house and I turn to mobile data. If it's not connected to the VPN, my internet is not going to work. It's just going to shut off. But can you do this? Yes. But when there's issues with it, are you able to manage it? That's why we are here. So if there are issues with it, you break it, you're going to mess with it and you're going to learn. And that's how you learn. Like I have like 3 boxes computers in my house that I break every day. I mean, there are some that I don't even know the password, some that but that's how you learn. If you don't learn like that, then and also some of you here, you need to go and buy. I tell people, go to Facebook Marketplace, look for a PC and buy it for
Yes.
$50 or something. You know what you're going to do with that PC? You keep scattering it, taking it out, take the
Breaking
hard
it.
drive, buy a different hard drive, swap it in there, build it the way you want to build it, connect it, install a different operating system on it, and all that. Play with things like that, and you will enjoy it.
Yes. 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 Definitely. Yes. Any question for Mr. Bless? He's here with us. Anyone want to give us the last question? Yes.
I just
Yeah.
hope we that Renee comes back and hosts another meeting with us so we can keep learning. This was
Yes,
great. Very informative.
definitely. Yes, definitely. We will invite him again. So let's pray that he answer our. So we are very grateful for all the information we learned today. Thank you so much. Any question? Any last question?
I mean, we will invite Renee or Blaise in the summer. We have summer program, for our
Yes.
C-step students, for our high school students. So we will get in touch with you. You have done a wonderful work for us. The workshop is very
No
informative.
worries.
Yes.
So
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much.
I'll be an
Thank you.
alumni by the summer, so I hope I can still have access to the
Yes.
meetings, 'cause I'll be
Are you a student?
me. Yeah, I'm a student.
Yes.
I graduated. Professor Kofi was one of my professors.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're graduating. So you
Yeah,
can
the
come, you can
spring.
join. I have your email. I will always send reminders. So I'm gonna send also the recording to everybody who requested the recording. It's just because yesterday I had to wait for them to send me a link, and I was out of my computer when everything was sent to the cloud. So I'm gonna send the links day 1 to day 3, different day. Everybody is going to have it, right? So join the classroom. Please fill out the attendance. Those who did not fill out the attendance, I can tell I see only 5 responses out of maybe 16 people who are here today. Please, everybody, no exception, just fill out the attendance and share the link again. And we have some quiz that we send on menti.com. Please answer that also. Fill out the attendance, please. Right, it's gonna help us to remind you that we have an upcoming session like this, right? And please invite other people to join. Invite your friends, family members, right? Sometimes they are scammed. They're going to just tell you, my account was scammed. You cannot help them, but if you educate them, that's also a very good attitude, right? Educate our kids not to open doors to anybody. The same thing that we do for house security. Ask before opening the door. We have to do that with cybersecurity. We have to educate them. Right? Don't just go on every side. This is how you can secure yourself. The more you know, you can share. But if you don't know, you are not going to share. So please take time to, when we send you reminders. I think that this semester also, by the end of the semester, we are going to work to have another session like this. Summer, definitely we're gonna have one. And every semesters we plan to have at least one where we invite everybody, right, to learn a bit more about cyber security. Did someone learn something so far? I'm gonna send also a survey. So please, when you have that, fill out. Attendance sheet, I have only 7 people so far. Oh, Officer Coffee, I don't see your name here. I'm gonna call names now. So,
Okay.
uh, Miss Karine, Mr. Blaise, Mrs. Emma, Gaillard, Anita, right? Mirabel, no, she done it. I know Nana came at the end. She came early, but after that she disappeared. I hope maybe she was working. Thank you so much for joining Miss F4 and Mrs. Okay, we have
Oh, hello. Oh, I did join early.
and
Unfortunately, my line went off and then I had to do some other tasks. I just finished my task and I came back. Thank you.
no problem. I will send the recording if you're interested because it was
Thank you so
very,
much.
very helpful. So I can help send
Yes, I think I came across your TikTok, which was very helpful. And that's
okay.
why when I saw your notice, I was like, oh my goodness, let me join.
Yes, thank you. I
Thank
know you
you.
are also in the group where I was teaching, right? The Africa Tech group. I know.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Are
I'll
you
send.
still going to do those classes again?
Yes, as time allow we do.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All
Yes,
right.
please, everybody, please fill out. When you fill out, I'll have your emails. I will send you, the links for the recording. Will be only for those who actually attended because some people did not attend. So, then if they don't ask for the link, the recording, please at your free time listen to it. Thank you so much, Mr. Mr. Blaise, do you have anything to say before we conclude? Mr. Renee, anything you want to share? Any advice, last advice that you guys want to share? We have faculties here, we have students, parents, please.
Oh, there are students here. Okay, so I mean, the advice that I just have to share is, cybersecurity information technology is different from other fields.
Mhm.
When I say different, I mean different in terms of looking for a job.
I think people want to see you again. Maybe
All
maybe
right.
don't mind. Maybe you are with the kids.
So
Yes, okay.
yeah, so no, I send them outside. So yeah, so in cybersecurity, there is and information security in general, information technology in general. Looking for a job after you graduate is not like other fields. It's not nursing. I guess you can write nursing now, get your NCLEX or whatever, and then tomorrow you can find a job. It's going to be different. But the key is going to be that you should not give up. The interview that is going to give you a job is the interview that you did not expect that will give you a job. The interview that you will leave and you'll be like, what was I saying there? Is probably going to be that interview that will give you that job. But if you give up, I'm saying because I've seen a lot of people do this and then they look for a job in 2 months and then they give up. But that's not how the technology world works. There is competition. There are certain times that certain jobs are not just for you. It doesn't just work out for you. So, but you need to be prepared for interviews as well. If you come here and the prof teaches you like they do, and you have people that can help you, but then when you are done from here and you do not ask for mock interviews, which means sit on a panel. You sit on a panel with 4 people to give you an experience of what you will see out there when you go for interviews. That is, I threw a question to you, prof throws a question to you, another person throws a question to you, and you are in that heat where you have to answer those questions, and you do that for 4 consecutive mock interviews. You are capable to go out there and sit in that panel and feel like it is the same thing you were doing. Some people run away from mock interviews, and that is a huge mistake. Because you run away from me interviewing you that I've been talking to you every day, but then you go and see somebody new. Those things that you knew that are in your head are going to disappear. I mean, all the concept, it happens. You sit and you forget everything, but you actually know. But because of the panic, because of the just you being afraid, you will forget everything. So it is important for you to always do mock interviews. You do a mock interview like a real world, come on camera, sit down, have 3 people sit in a panel, 4 people, and interview you. You do that 3, 4 times, you fix your mistakes, and I bet you your job search is not going to be so long.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Bed, do you have anything to add regarding that question?
And thank you.
Any
Oh, sorry.
advice? Yes.
Okay.
One
thing is I want to tell Caitlin that we have certifications too. If you are interested, I know you are a Max student, right? So we have vouchers that can allow you to do like certifications. So if you are interested, reach out to Professor DeJoly.
Yes. We
We'll
have
help you too.
vouchers for Network Plus, Comchai Plus, Comchai for Network Plus, right? If you want, if you're interested, let us know. We're going to give you one of those vouchers.
They are very
I'll be
expensive
interested in that. How do you sign up?
No, it's actually for students.
for
yeah.
students.
Oh,
Yeah.
for students. Oh, okay.
From
In
the
the
university.
university?
We have our students from the university.
Oh, in the college.
That's
Oh,
right.
Yes, college, yes.
Come
Yes.
to
And
our
these
college and then
certifications
you will
are
get it.
very expensive.
Yeah, they are
But
very expensive, like $250,
yeah, but we are
Some
gonna
of them is
sponsor
300.
you to do these certifications, and then we'll help you in the workplace, to get a
Yes,
job.
yes, yes, definitely, yes. Yes. So, for Renee and Mr. Bless, I was planning with the club to have a mock interview for students, so that to call expert. I'm working on that project, maybe for spring before May. So have them have kind of a sense of mock interview, because I realize a lot of students that they don't really practice. They don't even know what is mock interview. But I have seen all the schools doing that, so I was planning to have this kind of session that maybe I'll call expert. You guys can review the resume and just tell them, right? Because it's very good to have expert or some people from industry to look at their resume or their CV from the eyes of an expert, eye of a recruiter. So please, when I send the invite, please, put that in your schedule. It's gonna be on Zoom, of course, right? So that you don't have to move. Even if you move, maybe Dr. Kofi is going to pay for your ticket. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I was kidding. So thank you so much. So
Thank you.
please, let's appreciate them. Everybody say thank you for their time. It was a
I
great
think Caitlin
workshop.
had a hand up, I believe.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry to keep
Oh, okay.
everyone. It was just
Okay.
to say, like, I was more on the technical side, and now I guess I'm transitioning over to the security side. So it's like I think we even talked about the certifications before. I don't know if they're similar or the same, but even with mock interviews, I've had some practice, but with the technical side, and I just found out that it's like yesterday that it's completely different for like compliance rather than so.
No, so if for an example of a certification is like the certifications will always help you, but a certification that is like the basics of security is security plus, CompTIA security plus, right? That's always going to be a certification that would always help you at all the times. That should be the base, the first certification that you want to write, right? To if you want to go towards the path of security. And then after that, before you start looking about cloud security and all that, because Security Plus tells the recruiter that you have the basics, you know the basics, you are able to do, you have the concept and everything, right?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I hope everybody fill out the attendance sheet, right? Please, if you did not take time when we wrap up, when we close to do that, it's very important so that we can actually send you reminders, right? Okay, I see a lot of people actually fill out some of them, but some of people, many, okay. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, right? We will keep in touch with you, and thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kofi. Thank you, Professor Dashley. Thank you,
Okay.
all the faculty who are here, all the students, community. Thank you so much. Any last word, Dr. Kofi?
Oh, I think that was amazing, and I really thank everybody. Thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for inviting them. We need people from the workforce to inspire or to teach students, to train them, so that they know what is there. So this is good, a good practice. So I really appreciate your work. And I
Thank you
would
so
like to
much.
thank all the speakers for the wonderful job.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kofi.
So
Thank you.
Yes.
I think we should have a session like that consistently throughout the semesters and systematically, especially for the benefits of Max and system student at the
Yes.
college. This information, it's very important. I would say it's crucial
Yes.
for the student body and faculty alike. So
And
yeah, we have to keep on pushing, and I hope this is not the last one, even though we're gonna have the big one during the summer. But you see, we could have, here and there, one or two session um during the semester.
and also, I like the fact that we invite parents. This is very important
Yeah.
because we serve so many high school, middle school students, but we want to also train their parents. And then I think it will be a very employing Section 2.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
To secure the whole house, not only the student, but
Yeah.
everybody.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
right.
That's very good. Thank you so much, Professor Deshule. Thank you, Dr. Kofi. Thank you all, community students. I'll keep in touch. I'll send you the Zoom link, the recording, right? If I don't, please email me. I will make sure I do that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Blair.
Have a good
Mr.
weekend,
Blair.
everybody. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you for
Bye
your
bye.
time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.